like to call this meeting of the Sports and Recreation Advisory Board to order. We can begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Next on the agenda, we have roll call. Vice Chair Dennis, present.
Present.
Ms. Katz.
Present.
Shinoy. Present. Mr. Rufa.
Here.
Mr. Leffler. Leslie? Oh, sorry. Mrs. Leffler. Now I just want to say Carlton because I don't want to say Mr. or Mrs. and presume. Sandy?
Present.
And Vice Mayor? Present. Good to see you. All right. Next, we have approval of the minutes from the April 24th meeting. If I can have a motion?
I make the motion, we accept the minutes as read.
I second.
Second, all in favor? Aye. Any abstentions? Okay, great. Minutes are approved. Mr. Recchio, can we jump, do you want to do number 4 now, or do you want to do it once we get to that section?
When we get to that.
Okay. Okay. Next on the agenda is comments from the public regarding issues. Anybody present from the public? All right. Next would be comments from the board related to any issues. Any questions, concerns?
No, sir.
I'd like to know about the cultural center. How are we doing?
I imagine that will come up in Mr.
That will
Recchio's
come up.
update.
In the course of the minutes.
Okay.
All right. On to Roman numeral 6, Parks and Recreation Director updates. We're going to start with number 4, presentation and updates of the CIP projects.
Yeah, Mr. Chair, we have Chris Marsh, the village engineer, that's going to give us an update. He'll be concentrating on the CIPs that are in what we call the 302 fund, or the surtax, so we can go through those projects and show you how we come in compliance.
Excellent.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Good evening.
What you guys are the Infrastructure Surtax Oversight Committee. I don't know if Lou told you that, but that is one of the duties that you have.
We were so informed.
And what those duties entail is we have a section of our budget, which is the 302 fund, and these projects essentially need to last 5 years or longer. It's a very broad definition on what they could be. And what you're going to see in my presentation is there's 2 lists. There's the list from last year, then there's the list for the current year budget, and then in the 5-year CIP are combined in that list. So you'll be looking at the 2 lists and confirming that they are consistent with the county ordinance, and that they will be around for 5 years or greater. And with that, I will go ahead into the
Before you jump into that, just can I briefly inquire, as a whole, are there any areas where we are not in compliance?
No.
Okay. Please continue. The important question has been answered.
Good question. So as I alluded to, the sale tax SUR fund is expenditures associated with the construction, reconstruction, or improvement of public facilities that have life expectancy of 5 or more years, and any related land acquisition, and it also includes the purchase of vehicles and equipment. So these first few slides are just the list, and you've been given packets, so you can go back through these. I'm not going to, this first list I will go through in detail at the end of the presentation, but for your homework, you get to have this list and go through these later. So these are the current projects in the 302 fund. And that fund has $7.59 million in revenues and $5.19 million in expenditures, and that is for fiscal year 2019. You'll see projects that go outside that, and that's also on your purview to make sure that we are abiding by the rules. This list is what was discussed and approved last year. There will be projects that are highlighted in yellow. Those projects have been completed and are not part of the current budget. So they have an asterisk next to them. They've been closed. And this section is going in detail through the projects that are currently approved as part of the budget in the 302 fund. So this first project is at the building directly behind us. This is the intake for the building department. They'll be raising the walls and providing the people with a little bit more security in that section. Next project is the RV Phase 2 parking lot. We're going to be adding an additional 147 spaces right next to where you see that existing facility. And that is actually, the notice to proceed was issued for that, so you'll start seeing work happening very shortly on that. The next project is FPL Pathway Lighting. We did receive a grant through the TPA, the Transportation Planning Agency, for this project, and it is in the planning and design phase, but it'll be a few years out before that happens, and that'll be adding lights to the FPL pathway from essentially the north end of the village to the south end of the village. Next project is essentially identifying target areas to access the Commons Park, to create future accesses, to make it easier for people to either walk or ride their bicycles into the park. So we've targeted strategic areas, and we have allocated funding for that. And if properties come on the market for sale as a willing seller, willing buyer transaction, we would look to acquire those properties and create these accesses. The next project is the FPL Dry Detention Pond Project. This is in La Mancha, right in Salinas neck of the woods. And what this does, it does two things. It'll create additional floodplain storage, it'll improve water quality, and it'll help fix the issue with water getting into the roadway base along there. And we also did get a $150,000 grant for this project. Next project is the Village Hall lobby update. What this will do is the building directly behind us. It will create a break room for employees. It'll upgrade the restroom facilities to be ADA compliant, and then it'll enhance the lobby. This project is at the corner of Royal Palm Beach Boulevard and Southern Boulevard. There is an existing gateway structure there. We're looking to bring that up to kind of similar to the architecture for Commons and the other entry feature signs that we have. This is the La Mancha Avenue extension. We did apply for a grant for this. Unfortunately, we didn't get that. It is still out towards the end of the 5-year fiscal plan, and we will look to apply for additional grants for that to make that extension from La Mancha Avenue out to Okeechobee, which will improve pedestrian connectivity along the corridor and help alleviate some of the traffic in the morning. This project is kind of serves both schools and potentially the future accesses that we talked about at Commons. This will put a 10-foot pathway that connects the two schools. It'll also put some on-street parking there. Right now, a lot of the parents that are picking up their children, they park, and it's killed the grass along that section. So we saw it as an opportunity to add some on-street parking there, put a nice 10-foot walkway, which will potentially connect the recreation center to Royal Palm Beach Commons if we're able to acquire 1 or 2 properties to do that. This is to improve the energy efficiency of the lighting, improve the performance of those lightings, and obviously make those lights hold up to the current hurricane wind loading that's required, and that's at Bob Marcello Park for fields 2 and 3. This is for Robner Park. The existing asphalt pathway needs to be resurfaced. There are some ADA compliance issues that will be taken care of as part of that project. Veterans Park, that'll be painting the buildings, 4 buildings, and then also refinishing the trellis structures to reseal those. Common Sporting Center, this will be taking the existing plastic windows and turning those into regular hurricane-proof windows. It'll allow the building to be a little bit cooler during events. This is the replacement of the lighting at Camellia Park, same reasons as I stated before for Bob Marcello. This project, if you look, there is kind of a red and then a magenta pathways. There'll be two different styles of lighting. The red lighting are for our access points, so after events that go into the evening, people could safely get home on their bicycles or walking out of the facility. And then the other lights on the perimeter would be more of a security type lighting, low level lighting. And then these would be similar to what we have in the Great Lawn for the parking areas, and also for portions of the dog park would be lit by these lights. This is a chipper for, obviously for
Shipping?
There's a Geico commercial, right, with the woodchuck. This concept is an all-access playground, and we are looking to secure grants for this. And I think Commons Park is the target area for this. This is an expansion to Lou's Taj Mahal to add some restrooms, a kitchen, and a meeting room to that. And there has been discussions to possibly taking this a little bit further, but right now it's in the planning phases. This is art in public places, so it's kind of a to-be-determined element of the CIP. This is bridge slope stabilization. The green dots on the left represent the bridges, and it's really just going back in and improving channel depths and shoring up the bridges to keep those in good shape. This is for the sheriff's office right here in this complex to replace the windows that you're seeing in the right-hand view. This is the water treatment plant site modifications, essentially decommissioning the existing plant and then adding some washdown areas and repurposing the areas that used to serve as the water treatment plant. This is improving the drainage out of Cat Soccer Complex. There's a pipe that's undersized that would be replaced as part of this project. Also, near Commons, there's a pipe that goes under the roadway that's undersized, so it would be increasing the size of that pipe to improve drainage in the area. This is AC replacements. It's a long-term plan. Essentially, all the buildings are on this plan. In the current 5-year, it's the rec center, cultural center, village hall, David B. Farber Training, Palm Beach Sheriff Office, and one of the AC units at Bob Marcello. This is road resurfacing. This is the one that's planned in this fiscal year, which is largely going to be Crestwood Boulevard from Okeechobee up to Royal Palm Beach, or not, up to Saratoga Pines, then Sparrow Drive and Wildcat Way. This is the outfall replacement. You can see in this picture, over time, the portion of the outfalls that extend out into the water, they get more sun on them, they get more oxidation, so they have to be replaced. And this is an ongoing program to replace those outfalls. Roof replacement, it's part of a 25-year plan. Village Hall is the building that's in the current 5-year budget, but it extends to all of the public buildings. And this is the road resurfacing that'll happen in 2022. and the final project is a canal dredging. We're looking to acquire grants to assist us with this, and it would be going into the canals and removing the layer of muck that's built over the last 60 years. That'll improve water quality and aesthetics of the waterways.
What's the time frame on that?
It's really, we're trying to get a grant. We continue to apply for CBIR grants. We think we're going to get them, and then Rick Scott cuts our funding. He did it 2 years in a row. We did get a little bit of money this last time, but it wasn't enough money to fund the project. So we shifted it to that FPL pond project because it was $150,000. We really needed $1 million to make it cost effective. They have to be large scale projects for them to mobilize the equipment
No, of course.
and do that
Easements
work.
has got to be surveyed. Making a quick look at that, wasn't a lot of that waterway belong to Indian Trail?
The M1 canal does, but the systems in La Mancha and the Willows belong to the village. We have that maintenance responsibility, and the right-of-ways are dedicated to us.
I have two questions from Mr. Marsh, if that's okay.
Of
Good.
course it is.
Thank you. The dry retention ponds, can you give me what they're going to look like? Like right now, you kind of have the Everglade feel to it out in that area, or are they going to be the dip ones that we have already created out there?
They will not, they only hold water during the summer. So
Okay.
during the winter, they'll be dry, and yes, you'll see some of that Everglades-ish feel to them, because that's the other benefit of creating these, is we don't have to mow them. So it'll create these areas where you're only mowing the perimeters of them. FPL will not allow us to put wet ponds under those transmission lines. So this is what they will allow, so it's the best thing we could do with that land.
Okay. And then I think we were talking about that the pathway lighting or the safety lighting in Commons Park, if we can look into solar lighting as an option.
Yeah, absolutely.
I have no questions. I asked my important question.
That was very important, and we got that in the meeting minutes. So thank you very much. You have a great evening.
Thank you, sir. Next on the agenda is the discussion of the 2018 Florida Recreational Development Assistance Program grant application in the amount of $250,000. Mr. Recchio.
Yeah, basically what we have this on the agenda because it's a requirement for the application for the grant. We're applying for a $250,000 grant to help us with arts and entertainment type programs. This has never been available in the past. This is actually for programming, the entertainment that we have at Commons Park, and then at the Cultural Center when we have our community band and the art classes that we might have for the kids as well as the adults. This will give us a matching grant of $250,000. The application is being processed, and we'll see where we go from there.
Very good. Anybody have any questions related to that issue? All right.
Okay.
Next, go ahead.
Okay, the next two items are basically the same thing, two more grants that we're applying for, $200,000 each. As you saw in Chris's PowerPoint, one of them is for Commons Park, the lighting issue. It'll be a $200,000 matching grant to help offset some of those expenses of lighting those parking areas, the grass parking areas, and then also putting in the light bollards on the pathway. And when you look at that pathway, that's approximately 3 miles of a walking trail. And right now it's pitch black out there, and it'll be good for safety, and people will be able to enjoy it more. And then the parking area, the additional lighting there, we're looking at ball field lights because we're not going to need them all the time. We're only going to need them when we have our major events. Right now, we have to go out and actually rent generators and portable lighting to give us sufficient light out in those parking lot areas. So in the long run, we're gonna save some money. And then the other project is Bob Marcello. Those ball field lights were put in close to 30 years ago, and it's time. It's time for a change, and we are looking at putting in LED lights.
I was gonna say, there's been some new technology recently that may help.
So, glad you waited. But, Mr. Chairman, I believe the Marcello lighting has been on the
For a while.
capital improvements for at least 4 or 5 years, right?
Well, we did field 5 in the back.
Okay.
With the new lighting. The other fields, 1 and 3, or 1 and 4, along with the T-ball fields, they're fairly new. They're not as old as.
So you still have 2
Other
fields that
two.
have original
Got
lighting,
2 fields that we have to take care of.
almost original lighting.
You know, a lot of our facilities are aging. And,
Aren't we all?
you know, like Chris had mentioned, you know, we're looking at the rec center. It'll be our next major project after we get through the cultural center. That again, it's a 30-year-old building, and it's in need of not only expansion because of programs, but repair work. Okay, but the main thing is these 2 grants, we want to get in and try and get some of the money as long as it goes through the budget process with the state.
Very good. Next is the program activity updates.
What,
Oh, was there a question?
CIP project?
Yeah, I did have a quick question. With the lighting on Commons Park and the pathways, are we going to be putting benches in?
Well, we
In-
have benches all around the pathway,
We do?
yes.
Just can't see them.
Yeah, we have benches throughout the whole
Good.
park, yeah. And I know you had asked a question about the cultural center. It's, you're gonna be very pleased when
I
you see it
can't wait.
completed. All the trees and the shrubs out in the parking lot have gone in. The paving, final phase of the paving is happening as we speak. The interior, we're pretty much gonna be substantially completed mid to later part of October. The one thing that we are waiting for is, believe it or not, the chandeliers. Because in that grand ballroom, which was the auditorium, there are 6 chandeliers that'll be in place. And then the conference end of it, or the meeting rooms in the back that we added on, there's a chandelier in each one of those. And each room will have a TV. They'll be able to have training sessions. They can use 4 individual rooms. They can open it up and use all 4 rooms as one. You're gonna have 2 kitchens for the 2 areas. We've added 3 restrooms, one for the men, one for the women, and then we have like a family restroom for those that need assistance or have a child. It's going to be beautiful. I mean, there is nothing out here that matches what we're going to have. And we just went through the rate schedule for the fees and what we're going to be charging. And I think you're going to find that it's more than competitive. But it's a great start, and we'll make adjustments as we go through. But I think you'll be very, very pleased. We will start booking the facility as of the first of the year. So
When, taking the chandelier delays into consideration, when will it be fully done, do you expect?
I would say by first, second week in November.
Are we going to have a gala?
Some sort of a ribbon cutting?
We're discussing that. Yes, yes.
Burgers and dogs and lemonade under the chandeliers?
And obviously, we want to bring in local businesses. We want to
Sure.
get the chamber involved, because I think once people see it,
Yeah.
they're gonna.
You could have,
It's gonna sell itself.
you could simultaneously have 5 events there at one time. That's what you're
Yes, you
saying.
could.
Because you have 5 separate, and commercial grade appliances in the kitchen this time?
Yep. And you'll have, people will have the option. I mean, they will actually be able to rent the entire facility for the whole day.
So it sounds like a conference center that you would find at
It
one of the
it is.
local
It's a
hotels.
combination of, like I say, the auditorium, we are calling the grand ballroom, and then the conference area, the 4 rooms, we're discussing naming those.
And we kept the stage?
We did?
I thought we finished it.
I just wanted to be sure, because we've been going back and forth.
We'll blame it on Ray.
Do we have an announcement, a breaking news there? Is it a name?
I'm gonna leave that up to Councilwoman.
No, we discussed it at the last council meeting. So the 4 rooms, I believe originally when the building was built, they had talked about naming it after each of the 4 areas. So there's La Mancha, Willows, I think, was it Saratoga, or it used to be something else?
The Colony,
The Colony.
Willows, La Mancha, and,
Came up from Crestwood, that's what I thought. Yeah.
so each room will be named.
Well, the
We
original
welcome you.
plat for the village when it was Royal Palm Colony was 4 quads with a big circle in the middle, remember?
Yeah, there was actually another one, Hawthorne, but nobody knows what Hawthorne was, so.
You can come by me, come by La Mancha, we'll take you.
Did you keep the stage?
Yes.
Great.
Yes, and we've improved, again, it's a grand ballroom, and it is a grand ballroom. Between having the 6 chandeliers, and then, we always had that 12-foot screen that would come down from the ceiling. Well, we've added 2 others on either side. So if there is a major function going on, they can show the function, a speaker, or if you're having a wedding, they can have wedding photos going up on the screen. So again, it's impressive,
Nice.
very impressive.
Now, one question. Are we gonna get a walkthrough before everybody else?
After the construction is done, right now, it's still a construction site. Mhm. Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Behind the scenes for.
And before I finish, I just want to wish Councilwoman Smith a happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Have a
100
piece of
more.
candy.
Oh, I ate half of that the other day.
All right, program activity updates. Whomever wants to go first.
Oh,
Pointer.
Steve's got a new baby at home, so he wants to go first so he can go home.
If you have a new baby at home, you want to delay getting home.
Hey, Steve, I don't know if you remember Joanne, but she used to do the rapid fire updates. Remember those?
Yeah.
Come in about a minute and a half. So ready, set, go.
All right, good evening. It's been a while since I've seen some of you guys, but I'm Steve Pointer, the program supervisor over mostly the athletic programming at the rec center. We have 3 adult programs.
Can you push your button, sir? They getting notifications from the back that can't hear you.
I got you. I've been to enough of these. You shouldn't think I would know that, but so we have 3 adult programs that I'm in charge of. One is adult basketball. We're right in the middle of our summer/fall season. We have 14 teams in that. The adult flag football just started. It has 8 teams. And then we also have the senior program, pickleball, which has over 50 people signed up for that. So all those programs are going well. For the youth programming, we just started taking registrations for our youth basketball league, which is going to start up in November. Volleyball right now, we have a Volley Kids program, which is basically from 3rd to 8th grade. We have 47 total participants in that. It's something we've ran the last few years for the middle school, and we generally have about 25 for that. We added 3rd through 5th grade this year, and that has about 21 participants and is doing very well. Volleyball seems to have a lot of interest in the Royal Palm recently, so we're trying to capitalize on that. We also have 2 younger programs for the 2 to 5-year-olds. We have Little Hoopsters, which started up last year. It's got 19 participants. Then Little Sluggers, which is obviously baseball, has about the same amount, about 20, depending on the season. 2 and 3-year-olds are always full. The 4 to 5-year-olds are generally about half full. Baseball has 4 to 5-year-olds too, so for their T-ball program, so half of them go there, some of them play here. So Primary providers, baseball, they're just now starting their fall season. They have about 315 participants for the fall, which is very good numbers. And then football, they're right in the middle of their season. They have 132 participants. That's all I have. Is that fast enough for you, Mr. Rufa?
Pretty damn quick.
Pretty quick. December 15th, Lou just reminded me, we're going to be doing a grass volleyball tournament out at Commons Park on December 15th. So I'm still working out the details with all that, but we will be running that under the lights out there. Try to probably get some food court and some, entertainment and stuff out there as well for all of that. So, does anybody have any questions for me?
I have nothing.
No? Good? All right. Thank you.
Keep up the fine work. Mr. Chairman.
Next, we have Janine Delgadio taking care of our seniors.
Good evening. My name is Janine Delagardio, and I run the programs for the seniors. Okay, so we started a senior referral program that's going really well. They're distributing flyers all over at pharmacies and just any place they can think of. And we've had quite a few people coming in and using their services. So I think that program's going very, very well. We have a new class starting October 25th, Feel Better, Peace and Release. And that's starting October 25th, and she's offering a free class on October 11th, so people could see if it's something for them. Young at Heart started registering for new season on September 4th through the end of this week, the 28th, and we're already 77 ahead of last year. We're currently at 285. Last year at this time, we were at 228. So I think the Senior Expo that we held in August, which was fantastic, by the way, it went very, very well, really helped with getting new people into the rec center and was great advertisement for a lot of our programs. So I'm very thrilled with that. We're getting ready for our 10th annual fashion show right now. And we have 80 people enrolled right now, and October 12th, we'll have the seniors modeling, so that should be really nice. And we have a new course, which I'm very excited about. It's a senior technology course, and the students from the Royal Palm Beach High School will be coming in and mentoring the seniors and teaching them how to use their phones. And AARP is going to come in as well, and they're going to oversee the students and actually bring refreshments for them too. So I think that's really nice. October, for the Young at Heart, our October trip is already sold out with 60 people. We have Lunch and Learns that we started over the summer, and our next Lunch and Learn is with Dignity Memorial. That's going on October 9th. And people can plan for their future. And we should have about 45 enrolled in that. And they provide the lunch, and it's been very, very successful. So this will be our 5th one, and we're going to plan on doing another one as well. November trip, a 2-night trip to Orlando. We have 36. I only have 14 more spots, so we're doing well on that. Our luncheon in October, we have 191 enrolled. I do believe we'll close at about 2:20, 2:30. And we have a movie night planned for October with 19 so far, and I believe we'll end at about 50. And that's about it. We have our normal Parkinson, senior core and more, senior Tai Chi, senior chair yoga, and all of those continue to do very, very well, and we're looking to bring on some more programs as well. Does anybody have any questions?
I do not.
I was going to ask you, are there any more Office of the Aging classes?
Yes, we did just finish a Matter of Balance class, which was free to the seniors, and it was wonderful. The Area Agency on Aging funded it, and we are going to look into doing another one, but it will not be Matter of Balance. It'll probably be something with, diseases and teaching you how to take care of like diabetes and things like that, because they like to move on with different topics. So I'm looking into that right now, Sandy.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
No, ma'am. Thank you.
All
very
right. Have a great evening. Thank you.
much. Well, thank you.
Next, we have Cheryl Sawyer. Cheryl takes care of the summer camp program, plus the programs, the instructional programs that we have at the rec center, pre-K and that.
Hello.
Good evening.
So tonight I'm going to, in just a few minutes, real quickly cover some of our youth programming and our adult programming, and also to mention that approximately a year ago we had a goal of increasing the number of youth ages 1 to 10 in our feeder programs. So these are the developmental programs that we run. And we increased participation by over 3 times any year in the past. And we did that with a great contractor that was brought in. She's brought in 2 additional instructors. We're running more parent-child classes. We're running additional camps for children ages 3 to 10. And this coming fall, we plan to run a Black Friday camp. So if you all know of any children, any parents that want to go out shopping on Black Friday, there's your opportunity for childcare.
That's awesome.
And then and before the holidays like Christmas and Hanukkah, we're going to have 4-day camps for 3 to 5-year-olds. And those should be very interesting camps with 3 to 5-year-olds. So we're pleased with the outcome. I think we have some really good staff aboard. I think some of the best we've seen in quite a few years. And then in our adult programming, we'll be adding a Zumba class this fall, total body conditioning, which is a co-ed class that is part aerobics, part weight training, and part core abdominal work. So we'll be adding another section of that. And we added a male yoga meditation instructor who is a veteran, who has background in training in PTSD and folks that have traumatic incidents from the past, and they want to work through them, and meditation helps them to work through those in more constructive ways. So we're very excited to have him because he'll be working with folks in both meditation and in yoga. And he'll be starting up a new class in October called Power Yoga. And that one is geared more towards the athlete and more fitness-based and encouraging, better performance, whether it's in athletics or any challenges that we face in life. So we're very happy to have him aboard. His name is Dave Costin Jr. In addition to him, we welcome 2 other yoga instructors, and we have 2 subs as well that we've brought in. So that program has really exploded. It must be a going trend in America to try and reduce stress, and yoga is one vehicle to do that. So in examining some of the challenges, I would say some of the greatest challenges from my perspective are vetting out what the needs and wants of the community are. That's always a big challenge, whether it's special events or programming. Examining the current trends to see what others are doing, bringing some of those new ideas in, and then also figuring out the way to bring in the best possible quality contractors we can find. And that is more challenging than one would think. With a 70-30 split, it does make it challenging because there are a lot of instructors that can go out and rent a room, and it appears to me that the owners of these places are not concerned about liability, so they're not even turning over, liability insurance certificates of any kind. They're not going through a lot of the procedures that we do in government and through the village. And so it does make it challenging. You want to keep the good people, you want that recidivism, but you also want to be bringing in some new talent. And so we were discussing that today in staff meeting and addressing some of the ways that we might be able to bring in some new faces, new programs. Does anyone have any comments or questions?
I have nothing, ma'am.
Actually, just on a personal level, I'd say is we use it for services for the summer. So we went to the summer program this year, the camp, and thank you very much. We had a great time. It was a great variety of things. And it drew from a lot of different areas too. What we found is it just wasn't Royal Palm Beach residents that were there as well. So that was really nice that the surrounding neighborhoods are coming to it. So great job over the summer.
Thank you. We enjoyed having, we had 100 children in 4 different sections of camp. So that was 400 slots filled with 5 to 13-year-olds and 10 counselors, 2 directors running camp. They did a fantastic job, great team, and many of them, I think, are returning. So, thank you.
Very good. Next.
It's amazing on those summer camps, our summer camp counselors, a lot of them, you remember when they were in our summer camp.
Sure.
And now they're counselors, so. Good. Want me to pass these out?
Please. Roles have changed a little here, huh?
Who's not used to working so hard?
Yeah. I'll introduce myself. I'm Mike Mikolajczyk, the Assistant Director of Parks and Recreation. I'll be giving you the updates on our special events. This year I have a packet there with all the flyers so you can remember all the dates and times of the events. First, our first event in October is Friday, October 5th, and that's our Food Truck Expo and Concert Night, which will be held at Commons Park. The band that will be performing is called Mikey's Hot Latin Swing. It's kind of fitting because September is actually Hispanic Heritage Month. But the band will be performing at the amphitheater on the Great Lawn at 7 p.m. It's a free event, so come out and put your salsa moves to the test. Selena?
Partner.
Following that event, we'll be hosting our first ever Rocktoberfest. That's the red flyer there. That's on October 13th and 14th. This event will take place of our annual Fall Fest. We've taken some of the aspects of that Fall Fest event, all the successful ones, and we're going to incorporate into this event, but we've also amped this up to more of a rock and roll Halloween-themed event. We changed the date, moved it a little earlier in October. We believe then we won't have a conflict with Halloween. So we're looking forward to that. And this event will include 2 full days of live entertainment, all quality entertainment, all rock, and it's listed there in the flyer who's performing. Art and craft vendors, a food truck expo, a classic car show, costume contest, a kids fun zone, pumpkin patch, a petting zoo, a trackless train, which is new, and that will give children and their families a complete tour of the Great Lawn, and they get to witness kind of what's going on throughout the event. A haunted woods walking tour, and again, that's something new. It's kind of the haunted hayride without the hayride. A lot of attractions, and basically families can enter that at their own risk, I guess. So we're looking forward to that. After Rocktoberfest, we're going to continue the Halloween theme by offering a food truck expo and movie night at Commons Park on Friday, October 26th. We'll be showing the movie Hotel Transylvania 3 at 7:30 p.m. That's a great movie, if you haven't been. I have kids, so I've definitely seen it. We're also working with Southeast Rods and Customs. They're going to stage their classic cars for that event, and they're actually going to decorate their cars in a Halloween theme, and they're going to provide candy for the children so they can actually trick or treat before the movie. And again, the food trucks will be there as well. Moving on, October 30th, the Royal Palm Beach Community Band will perform their annual Spooktacular concert. That will be held at Crestwood Middle School, and that event begins at 7 p.m. We offer refreshments and, again, great entertainment and free again to the public. In November, we'll be hosting our Veterans Day service to honor veterans of all military branches. This event will be held on Sunday, November 11th at 6 p.m. at Veterans Park, and the event will include motivational speakers, refreshments, entertainment, and again, the Royal Palm Beach Community Band will also be performing. We would love to recognize veterans at this event. So if you know of anyone who's attending, please have them call Comets Park, Rochelle Wright. She'll make sure she takes down their name and we recognize them at that event. Lastly, Saturday, November 17th, we'll be hosting our annual Fall Fantasy Craft Show at Veterans Park. And this event will be held from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. and consist of live entertainment along with handmade goods by talented art and craft vendors. And we're currently taking registrations for vendors at this time. And that's basically October and November. And we're already scheduled and planning and coordinating for events at the end of November and December into December. So we're staying busy. Questions?
Have we changed have you changed the vendor, the company, that PBCC or whatever they were called?
POTTC?
They're still with us.
They're still with you?
Yeah, they're still helping out with the events. Yep. All right. Well, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Appreciate it.
Green Market.
Green Market will be held actually in the fall here. They're already conducting the Sunday events at Veterans Park. That'll start back up in October here. And then in November, they're also going to be doing Wednesday evenings, well, actually from 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. With the daylight change and everything. But so you can look for that as well. Again, Wednesday evenings, the Green Market, and then also the Sunday morning into afternoons.
Very good. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Yeah, that must have gone very well over the summer, that Wednesday summer.
Right. Yeah, because there was a lot of rainouts and weather issues. So they're going to try to do it this fall.
Yeah, but it was a very intriguing idea.
Yeah. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, next on the agenda is closing comments from the board. Anybody have anything they wish to say?
Well, all I can say is our Parks and Recreation people are, as usual, very, very busy, very, very creative, and an absolute blessing to this community. Our kids are having a wonderful time. My granddaughter was a camper. My grandson was a counselor
I wonder
to
who they
his
know.
to his sister, and they survived.
Yeah.
But I see the kids when I'm in the rec center. I see how the kids are so happy and involved, and so many positive things going on, and then interacting. Now that the seniors are at the rec center, and they interact together, and it's really great. And I really think this community should be very proud of itself for the way we try to bring an enrichment and a fulfilling life to all of our residents.
I would agree.
Here, here. Mr. Chair, I have a special announcement.
Please.
The village has a very spectacular and amazing new taxpayer. My daughter Katie and her fiance Matthew now live in the village. They're watching tonight. I expect them to be watching.
Because you're expecting them to be doesn't mean that they are. You've been a parent long enough to know that.
Katie's back home. She's within a mile of our house, so
Okay.
we're very pleased.
Very good.
Thank you.
Anything else from any of the board members?
I think it's nice to see us back.
Yes. Oh, I actually do have something. Next meeting, I will be on vacation. I will not be here, so it's all you, Dennis.
All right. I'll do my best.
Here, here.
Vacation.
I'll make a motion.
I'm going on a cruise for Thanksgiving week, and we come back that Monday, so I don't know that I will be back in time for Miami, and so.
I think you can do it.
I'll be rooting for you.
I may still be slightly wobbly, but it won't be from the boat.
Just watch those Mai Tai.
That's right. A motion to adjourn for the evening?
A motion, Mr. Chair.
Any second?
I'll second.
All in favor? Aye. Motion to adjourn passes. Have a good evening, all.